everyone, my name is Mr. A. Satish Kumar from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering College. Today, now I am going to teach the torque equation of three-phase induction motor. So, torque. Actually, what is meant by torque? A torque is a twisting force, is called as a torque. It's a mechanical torque or called as what? A twisting force is nothing but a what? No? Torque. So, means the torque produced by a three-phase induction motor that will be depends upon the some factors. That is, we have the three factors we have. It is the first factor is the magnitude of the rotor current. It is the first factor of the torque produced by the three-phase induction motor. And the second factor is air gap flux. Second factor is air gap flux. And the third factor is power factor. So these three factors, the torque produced by the three-phase induction motor, key. These three factors will be effects. So means combining all these three factors, we can get the torque equation. That is, the torque equation will be is equal to, or torque is directly proportional to, depends on these three factors. That is, torque is directly proportional to pi into I2 into cos theta 2, where pi is nothing but what? Here air gap flux. I2 is nothing but the magnitude of the rotor current, and cos theta 2 is nothing but power factor. So means the combination of these three factors, that is the torque is directly proportional to pi into I2 into cos theta 2. So means the flux produced by the stator is directly proportional to the stator EMF only in the induction motor. That is, I am taking it E1. That is, the flux is directly proportional to E1. Means flux produced by the stator is proportional to the stator induced EMF, that is E1. We know that the transformation ratio K is defined as ratio of secondary voltage or rotor voltage to the primary voltage or stator voltage. Because in case of the transformer, what I am getting here, secondary voltage to the primary voltage. That is the transformation ratio. But in case of the induction motor, we have the stator winding and rotor winding. That's why the transformation ratio K is nothing but E2 by E1, where E2 is the rotor voltage and E1 is the stator voltage. Or can I write K is equal to E2 divided by pi also. So means E2 is equal to pi I am writing. Or E2 is equal to pi I am writing. So means here, for example, at standstill condition, I am taking slip is equal to 1. So means I am getting here E2 is equal to E1 into N2 divided by N1. Means this is at standstill condition. Under running condition, we are consider the slip here, because the slip is not equal to 1. But we are considering the slip here. Means under running condition, the induced EMF, the rotor induced EMF E2 is equal to, this is at running condition I am telling. Okay, rotor running condition E2 equal to, that is rotor induced EMF will be is equal to slip into stator induced EMF. Means, or you can write this is equal to S into E2OC also, where this E2OC is nothing but the rotor EMF under standstill condition also you can write. Okay, so depends on this transformation ratio, we need to derive the rotor current and the power factor and the torque equations. Okay, now that is the rotor current I2 is defined as the ratio of the rotor induced EMF under running condition we discussed earlier, that is S into E2 to the total impedance of the circuit, that is Z2, that is of the rotor side and telling. That is the rotor current I2 is equal to S into E2 divided by Z, that is the slip multiplies the slip by the induced EMF, rotor induced EMF E2 divided by rotor impedance, that is Z2. So means the total impedance Z2 on the rotor side, what I am writing here, Z2 is equal to under root of R2 square plus into Sx2 square I am getting. So according to these two equations, the rotor current under running condition is I2 is equal to S into E2 divided by under root of R2 square plus S into X2 square, because this is the slip is considered under running condition. Under standstill condition, the slip is equal to 1, then the rotor current will be is equal to E2 divided by under root of R2 square plus X2 square I am getting. But under standstill condition, I am getting this equation. But under running condition, the current I2, that is the rotor current I2 is equal to S into E2 divided by R2 square plus into Sx2 square. Means for this one, I am drawing the equivalent circuit. How I am getting a equivalent circuit, you can assume it. So for the power factor and for the rotor current, I am drawing the equivalent circuit here. I am getting here. This is the R2. For example, this is the I2. Then this is the S into X2. So this is what? S into E2. This is the rotor side circuit. So this is the rotor side circuit. This is the rotor side circuit. Okay. So means at standstill condition, the induced EMF in the rotor, what I am getting? E2. Okay. And the rotor winding resistance, that is R2. Okay. And the rotor winding reactance, that is X2 at standstill condition. But under running condition, I am getting the rotor resistance is R2 and the rotor reactance that will be is equal to multiply by the slip S, that is S into X2. And the rotor induced EMF at running condition, what I am getting here? S into E2 I am getting. Okay, so means under standstill condition, rotor current will be is equal to what I am getting here? I2 is equal to E2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square I am getting. Okay, so now the power factor. So this is the under standstill condition, the rotor current I2 is equal to E2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square. At power factor at standstill condition, what I am getting here? At power factor will be is equal to, that is under standstill condition, cos pi 2 will be equal to R2 divided by under root of R2 square plus into X2 square. Okay, so means now I am going to under running condition, power factor is the defined as the ratio of resistance to that of impedance. So that's why I am getting here under running condition, the power factor will be is equal to R2 divided by Z2 into, under running condition, I am getting the power factor of the rotor circuit will be is equal to cos theta 2 is equal to R2 divided by Z2, that will be is equal to R2 divided by under root of R2 square plus Sx2 square. So means from this above equation, under running conditions, the torque equation can be written as, that is torque is directly proportional to E2 into, what is the torque equation? The torque equation according to this equation. What I am telling here? Torque is directly proportional to the pi into I2 into cos pi 2. This is I am taking now for considering the torque equation. That is torque is directly proportional to E2 into pi 2 into I2. Okay. E2 into torque is directly proportional to E2 into I2 into, sorry, the torque is directly proportional to pi into I2 into cos pi 2. Okay, so now and or also the torque equation is directly proportional to E2 into, where here S into E2 divided by R2 square plus Sx2 square is nothing but as a what na I2, and into R2 divided by under root of R2 square plus Sx2 square is nothing but as a what na cos pi 2. That is this cos pi power factor and the rotor current I am substituting in this equation, then I am getting the torque is directly proportional to E2 into SE2 divided by R2 square plus Sx2 square into R2 divided by R2 square plus Sx2 square I am getting. Then the torque is directly proportional to S. If you are simplifying this equation, then I am getting torque is directly proportional to S into E2 square into R2 divided by R2 square plus SX2 square I am getting. Okay, so this is the torque equation I am getting. Okay, so now from this rotor winding resistance R2 and the rotor winding reactance per phase, that is X2, that is under running condition I am getting the SX2, that is total rotor winding impedance will be is equal to what? Under root of R2 square plus into SX2 square. Okay, and the power factor cos pi 2 will be is equal to under R2 divided by R2 square plus into SX2 square under running condition. So means from this above current equation, the resistance, that is R2 by S, the resistance R2 by S is a function of slip and can be specified into two parts, that is I am taking this is into two parts, that is R2 and R2 into 1 minus S divided by S I am taking. So this R2 by S I am dividing into two parts, that is R2 and R2 into 1 minus S by S. Okay, where R2, this R2 is the rotor resistance and R2 into 1 minus S by S is the resistance represents the electrical load and motor. Resistance represents the electrical motor and load. This is the R2 into 1 minus S by S represents. So then I2 square into R2 into 1 minus S by S. So this is nothing but the power consumed by the 50 DC resistance representing the electrical watts. Okay, so this is the I2 square into R2 into 1 minus S by S. Because I am R2 by S, I am simplifying into two equations, that is R2 and R2 into 1 minus S by S. Then I am getting I2 square into R2 into 1 minus S by S is called as a power consumed by the 50 CS resistance representing the electrical watts. Okay, so if you are at constant, removing the proportionality constant, we can get that is torque is equal to K into S into E2 square into R2 by R2 square plus SX2 square I am getting. This constant K is nothing but 3 by 2 pi ns if you are simplifying that above equation. So where this ns is the synchronous speed RPS, that is ns is equal to ns by 60 in terms of that is revolution per seconds. You can convert into revolution per minute, that is ns is equal to ns divided by 60. So finally the equation of the torque will be becomes, that is torque is equal to S into E2 square into R2 by R2 square plus SX2 square into 3 by 2 pi ns, and that is in terms of the Newton meter. Okay, so but here for according to the slip equation, for example, this is I am getting. So this is the braking action. Okay, so this is the motoring action according to slip equation. Okay, and this is the generating action. Okay, here at braking action slip is greater than 1. Okay, and the at motoring action slip is 0 less than S less than 1. At generating action slip is less than 0, that is the negative slip. Okay, so here this is the synchronous speed ns. At this place slip is equal to 0. So means depends on these equations we are considering the braking action, in the motoring action and the generating action. Under braking condition slip is greater than 1. Under motoring condition the slip is 0 less than S less than 1, and the generating condition slip is less than 0, that is the negative slip I am getting. Now for rotor torque, what I am getting, this rotor torque is depends on the three factors we discussed earlier, that is the what rotor current I2 and the power factor cos pi and the stator leakage flux. Okay, that is the magnetic flux. Okay, that is Then finally, what is the rotor equation I am getting here? The rotor equation under running condition, what I am getting here? Under running condition, the torque will be is equal to K into S into E2 square into R2 divided by R2 square plus S square into X2 square I am getting. Okay, where K is equal to what? 3 by 2 pi ns. Okay, where ns is equal to, this is revolution per second, then you can convert into minutes, n by 60 I am getting. Okay, so means at starting torque, the slip is equal to 1. This is the torque equation. At starting torque, slip is equal to 1, then torque is equal to K into E2 square into R2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square. Okay, generally the stator supply voltage V is constant, so that the rotating flux pi and the rotor EMF E2 are also constant. The starting torque TST will be is equal to K1 into R2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square I'm getting. Because here at stator supply voltage V is constant, so that the rotating flux pi and the rotor induced EMF E2 are also constant. Okay. So that's why that starting torque will be is equal to, I am getting K1 into R2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square I am getting here. Okay. So now I will derive the condition for maximum torque. Okay. The starting torque is the torque produced by induction motor. When it starts, we know that the stator of the speed is 0. Okay, its starting condition. The slip is equal to what I am getting here? Slip is equal to ns minus nr divided by ns. It becomes 1 because of the ns is 0 at starting condition. So the equation of the starting torque is basically obtained by simply putting the value of slip is equal to 1 in the equation of the torque. That is, of 3-phase induction motor, the torque equation is equal to E2 square into R2 divided by R2 square plus X2 square into K, where K is equal to what? 3 by 2 pi ns. Okay, so means the rotor resistance and the rotor inductive reactance and the synchronous speed of the induction motor remains constant because of the flux will be is equal to constant because of stator supply voltage V is constant. So the rotating flux and the rotor EMF E2 are also constant. Okay. So now the supply voltage to the 3-phase induction motor usually rated and remains constant. So the stator EMF also remains constant. Yes, sir. Then we define that the transformation ratio as the ratio of the rotor EMF to the stator EMF. So if the stator EMF remains constant, okay, then the rotor EMF also remains constant. Means if you want to find the maximum torque or maximum value of the some quantity, then we have to differentiate that quantity concerning some variable parameter, that is, and then it will be equal to 0. In this case, we have to find the condition for maximum torque. Okay, so that's why we have to differentiate the torque concerning some variable equation or variable quantity, that is its slip. We are taking a variable quantity is the slip here. Means the differentiating torque concerning some variable quantity, that is the slip. So S in this case, all other parameters are in the equation of the torque remains constant. So what I am telling here, so far the torque to be maximum, what is the condition? dt by ds will be is equal to 0. So then what is the torque equation I am getting here? So using the torque equation, where torque is equal to what? K into S into E2 square into R2 by R2 square plus SX2 square. So for this torque equation, I am differentiating with respect to the slip, that will be is equal to 0 I am getting. Okay. So if you are doing that one, what I am getting here, you can see, that is, I am getting here torque is equal to K into R2 into S E2 square divided by R2 square plus into S square into X2 square. Therefore here K1 is equal to K into E2 square. Okay. So then torque is equal to K1 into S into R2 divided by R2 square plus s square into x2 square. Or you can write here this equation k1 into r2, that is s divided by r2 square plus s square into x2 square I am writing. So then for this torque equation I am differentiating with respect to the slip, that will be is equal to 0, that is dt by ds will be is equal to 0 I am doing. Then I am getting the equation here d by ds into s divided by r2 square plus s square into x2 square will be is equal to 0. So then if you are differentiating this equation, then I am getting the r2 will be is equal to s into x2. So this is the condition for maximum torque, that is the rotor resistance will be is equal to slip times of the rotor reactance I am getting here. So this is the condition for maximum torque. Okay, so this is under running condition, the condition for maximum torque under running condition. At standstill condition, the slip is equal to 1, then the rotor resistance will be is equal to rotor reactance. Okay, thank you.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.